long day always calls for a beer. Just kidding, guys. I'm not drinking this. I didn't even open it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We have another episode on the Chris and Eric Show, embracing the new era of fitness.
You didn't mess up this time.
I didn't mess up this time. So this is episode number 6, and we're talking about some dieting strategies today. Our top 3 dieting strategies. So you guys are in for some great content today. So the reason why we want to talk a little bit about dieting is because you know, the weather's getting better. Summer is, I'm pretty sure summer's here. So people have vacations, people are traveling, people have weddings to go to. I mean, the list goes on. So everybody wants to look sexy, beautiful, amazing. People want to be walking on the beach, you know what I mean? Just kind of like in a 2-piece or something, or Speedos if you're a guy. So yeah, it's just that season. So I thought Chris and I would share some of our top secrets because too, we just finished up a 14-week dieting phase, and
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
This guy.
And Madre Santa, whoo! I am so glad that that is coming to an end this week. So yeah, you know, we just thought it'd be a good time to discuss this, some of our strategies, what helped us out and got us kind of over the hump, you know, within those 16 weeks. So the first strategy, I was gonna get right into it, and this guy is always trying to interrupt me. So the first strategy I'm gonna go with that really helped me was starting off your meals as late as you can in the day, right? So if you get in, I'm not gonna get into the whole like spiel about meal frequency because that doesn't really matter. It really just matters on what you could adhere to, how many meals ultimately you can have throughout your day and your lifestyle. So for me, I chose to have 3 to 4 meals, but I saw that, you know, that if you start off your meals later in the day, such as like maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, if you can hold off that long, that it makes it so much easier over the course of the day to spread out your calories, because we all know that, you know, when we're in a, you know, long dieting phase, our calories get low. So it's like we get hungry throughout the day, and we get hungry at night especially. That's when we really crave things. So for me, I think that, you know, a really good strategy is to start your meals off as late as possible. And some people might not be able to do that, but honestly, have some coffee, have some tea in the morning, have a very decent amount of water just to kind of suppress that appetite for the time being, and then just get into your first meal, whether it's like, you know, 9, 10 o'clock, and then just spread them out over the course of like 4 to 6 hours.
I have a little bit of a different strategy on that, okay, but I'm not going to get into that. He gave you guys one of the dieting strategies.
My strategy.
The second one is choose more satiating protein sources, okay? Now, let's face it, when we diet, we start to pick about, I would say, 4 to 8 foods that we're gonna stick to. We're gonna pick about 4 to 8 carbohydrate sources, 4 to 8 protein sources, 4 to 8 fat sources, if that, right? We're gonna stick to those because they're staples. We know that they're working for us and they fit into our macros good, stuff like that, right? So what I like to do is I like to choose very satiating protein sources when I go into a dieting phase. So my top 4 go-to ones are chicken, beef, eggs, and then dairy sources, right? So I prefer cottage cheese and yogurt. So top 4 right there. Those are all very satiating protein sources, right? So when you consume those are going to take a lot longer to kind of digest and break down in the bloodstream, right? Which is good because once again, when you're dieting, you get hungry quick, and you need some sort of, you know, satiating protein source to sit there and sustain that hunger for as long as you possibly can, okay?
Alrighty, so strategy number 3 when you are dieting is to utilize the 90-10 rule. So the 90-10 rule is pretty much, you know, having 90% of, you know, your food intake from whole and minimally refined food sources that are nutrient dense, and 10% from about semi-junk food that you really kind of like in moderation, that's quote unquote bad foods, right? And it's just one of those things that you have to reframe your mindset to just accept that, you know, when you're in a dieting phase, you're sacrificing a little bit, and you have to, you know, turn the adherence dial up a notch, right? Just to kind of, you know, reach your goals, you know, be more accurate with food sources. So you have to just understand that, you know, the 90-10 rule is probably the best way to go. You know, if you were in a a calorie building phase, or maybe you were just, messing around with the dieting phase where you had a long time to just diet down, you could get away with like an 80-20 approach. But honestly, my approach when dieting is to just get in and get out as fast as possible.
And then I'm gonna give you guys a bonus one, all right? We said 3, but I feel good today. We got our dieting phase over with. We got our photo shoot over with, so I'm feeling good today. I'm gonna give you a bonus, all right? So
feeling generous.
I think when we diet, right, we get into this mindset where we're so restrictive, we're all in on everything. We're sitting there willing to do anything pretty much to get to that end goal. And I think that's somewhat of an okay mindset because you're in a dieting phase and it's not for too long, hopefully. But again, we forget to sit there and reward ourselves, right? You're putting in a lot of work throughout, say, 5 days, 6 days, following your macronutrients, getting your cardio in, getting your training in, all that stuff, right? So I think that at least 1 day per week, whether that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not a cheat meal, but have yourself some sort of indulgence meal, right? And that to me can be looked at as a reward meal. That's why I like including refeeds into my clients' nutrition programs, because it's a great way to kind of control how many calories they're taking in. It gives them a chance to eat more carbohydrates, but they can sit there and have that sort of indulgence meal, feel good about themselves, and then they're like, wow, like I had that reward meal kind of, and I can sit there and go on for the next 5, 6, 7 days and keep dieting and look forward to, again, one of those reward meals or, indulgence meals. So that was a bonus right there.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because at the end of the day, it's like we're not fucking robots here, it's like we're human beings. Everything's based off of emotions. We're easily triggered by stress eating, emotional eating, just anything. You could have an off day of sleep and you're gonna increase your hunger hormones. So it's just one of those things where it's like you have to sit there and reward yourself and actually enjoy the journey, right? The actual, whatever it is, 12 to 20 weeks. You have to enjoy that journey, or else it's gonna be such a miserable process, and you're gonna look back and be like, why the hell did I even do this? And it's like, I'm never gonna do this again. So you just have to enjoy it as best as possible.
All right, there you go. There's our top 4 dieting strategies, especially the ones that we kind of learned and came across in 2017 this year when we started our diet. So hopefully that was helpful. If you guys want to join our community, I'm going to put the link in the description box and the comment box so you guys can click that. We give out so much more information, tips like that, lifestyle, mindset, personal development tips, nutrition training, the whole 9 yards. So all you have to do is just click those links right there and join the community. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video, and make sure you click the link below in the description box so you can join the dynamic community. With the dynamic community, we give out a bunch of information every single week. We have an exclusive newsletter that we send out every Friday called 5 Random Thoughts, where it's just 5 different little things that Eric and I are pondering through the week, whether articles, podcasts, rants, purchases that we're excited about. So it's really cool. A lot of people like them. And then we're just always giving out different content within training, nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, personal development, everything like that. So make sure that you join the DDT community and get all this stuff absolutely free and benefit off of it.
Come join the community.